today's a big day because Alien Romulus has come out and we finally have gotten to watch it. This will be a review. We will talk about all the spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, stop right now. Go watch it first. I highly suggest it.
Few things as someone who's not like a diehard Alien fan, right? A lot of the controversial stuff that people have brought up, I had to watch other people review it to even be like, oh, they pulled that from here. Oh, they pulled that from there. Because I had seen Alien. I had seen Alien
Right.
a long time ago. And then I recently saw Alien 3. So a lot of stuff that people were pulling out, even Prometheus, I saw it when it first came out, and that's it. So, there's a lot of hardcore fans who have seen these films multiple times. I know some people did watch marathons in preparation for this. So they went in with a very different mindset than maybe someone like me who doesn't have that. And I think someone like me probably enjoyed the film more than someone like that.
Than somebody who wanted to pick everything apart and you're calling that from this and that there.
Yeah. Because, I only saw that as I was watching some other YouTubers review this post, be like, oh, wow, a lot of copy-paste going on here. So, and we'll talk about that. So, start us off.
A lot of people, their criticism is it felt a lot like how Star Wars 7 felt. That they're just making a film that's a callback to the rest of the films. Mm-hmm. Right? Just constantly pulling this here and there. But I think they did this very well.
So a lot of people have mentioned that the final act is a kind of like, what? And I kind of agreed with that. So, and another thing that some critics have brought up is the time scale of the development of the xenomorphs. Right? If we go all the way back to Alien, the original chest burster is it takes several days to get through that kind of fetus stage where it is minutes.
Yeah, the speed on this one is crazy. And they put the clock on there, right?
Yeah.
You got a clock running the whole film. And so it is just minutes.
Minutes, yeah. I think maybe there's a few points where you could argue for an hour or two, because they start off with, 76 hours or something like that? I
think 36.
36 hours. So they've got a big chunk of time, but that does get cut down to 70 minutes. But, these xenomorphs go from embryo to fully grown probably in less than an hour, and it's a lot of some of the fans who like their sci-fi a little harder is that's just ridiculous. They're not. They've got to be. They would have to eat that whole girl to get that big, and it didn't. It kind of just walked away and made its nest. It's where's it getting the biomass from?
Yeah, and I do agree. It's cool that they do rapidly grow. But that's way too quick.
It's just taking a more hard sci-fi look at this. Once you're infected, you're just starving all the time, right? And you're just constantly eating and eating. And then, as soon as that chest burster bursts out of the chest, it turns around and just eats the guy after, because it's it needs biomass to grow. If it's growing that fast, it's got to consume those calories.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about how, xenomorphs realistically, they need somebody to implant chest burster, but then a whole nother body to feed it, right?
Well, the chest burster could probably just eat the body it embryoed in, right? Because they come out fairly small, and you just eat that body. But I guess, they wouldn't get bigger than the body they just ate is, right? They have to consume, at least a second body. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it'd need at least two bodies: the original incubation body, the consummate post, and then another human body to reach full size, at least.
Right.
Yeah. And these things aren't,
No, they're just magical growth pills. It was a bit too fast. And I think in other films we've been able to be and justify it, but in this one it's just that's just lightning fast. And also just the embryo inside the first girl.
Minutes.
Yeah, and it's popping out so
fun. Where you could say maybe it was an hour. They get her in there, she's on the floor, You know, before how long before they plug in that robot? You know, because they're on. You know, they've got 36 hours at that point. But I mean, everything after that is minutes, and it gets pretty ridiculous.
It was a bit quick. Yeah, that was one of the first things for me. It's like, no, this is happening. It should happen fast. Yes, but
not that fast.
That's too fast. So damn bit.
Yeah, well, but not only is it happening that fast, they're not consuming calories for growth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know. I think we see this in Aliens, right? You get the chest burster, it scurries away, and then it's like picking them off, you know, and it's growing and getting stronger every time it consumes. So it could get those calories, you know.
Yeah,
that is not happening at all here.
No. Some things I loved about the aesthetics of it is I thought they did the retro tech really, really good.
Yeah.
From the mining planet to the spaceships to all that retro tech. I think they really nailed it, and we really felt like we were back in Alien or Aliens, you know.
Yeah, and the practical effects were really good. A couple of the reviewers I saw even pulled some of the behind-the-scenes footage, and they built xenomorphs. You know?
Yeah, they built xenomorphs. They built these ships. They built,
and it really shows, right? Like, they did the practical effects, I think, were a good choice, and it really makes the film look good. I mean, I think it looks better, you know, than any Alien movie I have seen, right?
Yeah, it looked amazing.
The
one caveat we have here, of course, is
his look. Yeah. Yeah, he does it. There's moments where it's like, he looks off.
So he is passed away.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a full CGI. They did go ahead and talk to the family and everyone who owns his estate and, worked it out with them personally, not just trying to rob him.
But they did point out the guy who played, not Ash, the one in Alien.
Andy? The one in Aliens. Yeah, Lance.
Yeah, he's still alive. They could have got him for that role. You know? Or they could have just given it to another actor, or, they could have pulled the actor from Prometheus, Michael Fassbender. There's a lot of people you could have put in that role, and in this, where they have gone to such lengths to just not use CGI, it felt like there were just so many options to go in that avenue. And I think maybe it was more about, that's who Rook was, and they kind of wanted connection to Ash, just that same face with that same kind of agenda-driven approach to the xenomorphs. But at the same time, Michael Fassbender's character in Prometheus, he had the same view. I guess his was more curiosity because they knew nothing at that moment. But
yeah, no, I heard a lot of people say they should have gone Michael Fassbender and done a David in there.
Yeah,
is what I've heard most people say when they've really talked about this.
Or they could have just picked a different actor to make the android. Just introduce somebody new. Yeah, I think you either go with a Michael Fassbender or you just get somebody new. Yeah,
I do think that they were really aiming hard to do callbacks to the other films, and they felt like Ash was perfect for this. They got to have him.
There's another criticism that has come up at some people feel like it looks like they took all the Alien movies, chopped them up, and stitched it together.
Yeah, a little bit. But even beyond that, they pulled from video games, Alien Isolation. We definitely see some things in there. I did see a couple shots. Fireteam Elite. Some of the environment.
Oh, that's true. I do remember seeing one environment. Yeah. I fought there. I have fought.
Yeah. So they were also reaching into popular video games as well. And, so, yes, it was. I think a lot of people were mad that it's fan service. But I thought they did really, really good.
So, yeah, like you said, I did, the end got a little crazy even for me. But, definitely the best-looking Alien movie I've seen. And I felt like they did a really good job. Especially setting up the situation of them going to this ship and everything. The only problem is that, they collected that xenomorph that Ripley had nuked 3 times. You know, be like, I don't think anything's left. Just dust out there after she was done.
That one, the last we see of it is she shoots it out of an airlock.
No, because this is 1.5, right? This is before Aliens. So this is, don't they nuke that one 3 times from space?
So she nukes the mining rig, the I forget what to call it, but the thing holding all the ore that they're tugging across space, right? That's what she nukes.
Okay.
And then she relaxes and realizes it's on her escape pod.
Okay.
She puts on a suit, launches it out.
Isn't that Aliens, not Alien?
That's Alien.
Oh, that's it. I thought the suit was in the big.
In Aliens, she's got the big suit.
Oh, okay, yes.
And it launches the queen out of the air.
Yeah.
But no, she's wearing like more of a regular space suit.
Okay.
And then pulls the lever and launches him out of the escape pod that she escaped. So he didn't get nuked. He got launched into space. I think he does hit the engine part, right? Stuff like that. So no, he was not nuked. So I understand the confusion there. It's been a long time since you've seen.
Long time since I've seen it.
But no, they definitely could have collected the body. However, the fact that it's still unusable DNA, that's like the immaculate part of it, if you will.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I thought the film did really well is whenever we get into space itself, it just goes dead silent. You know, the film opens, we're above the ship, and you've got this dead silence. When the acid melts the floor and it drops out, boom, we get that silence and space again. You know, I thought that was a good choice and definitely really cool. Just that the sound just goes forever. Doesn't bounce off anything. It's just silent.
Yeah, it reminds you, in space, no one can hear you scream. Really go. You just go, right, yeah, it just goes quiet now. So yeah, the alien baby was weird, right?
The engineer xenomorph hybrid human thingamabob that came out of her, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I thought it was nice and creepy. I'm not sure it's a direction it's gonna go, but I know people have wanted this xenomorph human hybrid in the past. And when Ripley was still on board, they were going to make Alien 5, and she was going to be a xenomorph hybrid, more so than she is in Resurrection. But that never came to fruition. So I think this is kind of a callback to Resurrection, especially because the hybrid in that one is like this weird baby and treating Ripley like its mother. And yeah, so I think they were doing a callback to that one in that. But they took the direction they went, and I thought it was a lot better than Resurrection was. But still plenty of creepiness. I thought the cocoon was a really cool mid-stage for it to be in. We've never seen that before, where a chestburster will go inside of a cocoon and grow inside of there.
Yeah, and watching it come out, that was definitely cool. I think two of the really cool scenes were heating the room so they could move through it. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, after they kill a bunch of drones with the gravity off, and then they float through it. That
was a good scene. I thought they did absolutely wonderful in that one. Like their physics in that, the setup, and then the execution of that.
Yeah,
all of it was very well executed. Yeah, like we get awesome action scene, and it's justified that she kills them all because she's got her smart gun going, and
yeah, the aim assist, yeah. And like she's never used a gun before, but he's like, "Don't worry, you won't miss it.
It'll just point in the direction. Look, this is how it works." Yeah, no, it was all very good.
But yeah, I think if you haven't seen Alien before, and if you're not a diehard fan, this film they did a really good job on, and it is very good.
Yeah. And if you're a super fan and you're like, there was too many callbacks, I hated it. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. Like it was like I said in watching some of the more diehard fans of the series put together their reviews, and then they show the cuts from like, here's this line in this movie, here it is here. Here's the line in this movie, here it is here. Here's this line in this movie, here's the scene from this movie, here it is here. Like when you see all of it like back to back, you're like, whoa, that like especially like the last third of the movie, it looks like it was like they stopped making the movie and just did copy paste. And like I said, as not a diehard fan, I didn't see that in the movie. Right. But then seeing them do that, and the diehard fans, they've seen these things multiple times. They know them really well. Or the people who just ramped up with an Alien marathon, right? It like a couple times is cool as fan service, but by the end it's like overload. Be like, okay, enough. How about you tell your story now?
Yeah.
So I definitely see how some of the more hardcore fans had that reaction because it's just boom, 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 one after another.
I do think there's a good opportunity for them to go and make a really good sequel to this as she goes to this Varga, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Called. It's supposed to be this very utopian kind of a world.
Well, at least further along in its terraforming than where she was.
Yeah, where she was garbage.
Yeah, it was miserable.
There's a good potential for a sequel there. But as far as sequel talk has been, Fate Alvarez says that he would love to do a Alien vs. Predator with Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey. So he wants to co-direct one of those with him. So that would be exciting and cool.
So, and I think you'd end up with a really good movie. If we get an ending as good as Prey and a beginning as good as Alien Romulus, that's an awesome movie right there, right? Because not with Prey is it's really slow in the start, right? It just takes too long to ramp up. But the ending of Prey was really good. I really liked it, enjoyed it. And the beginning of this movie is very sharp. I thought they did such a good job with the open.
Yeah, that planet was very well executed. And then just the whole, they're like, we get out of here, and this is how we get out of here, and we leave now. And
and like back to Landon and Johnny's like, we're changing it, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Right. They're just like, oh, it's just a policy update. They're like, no, this is years and years of my life.
Yeah, like you just you're taking 5 more years of my life, just limb.
Yeah.
And when you're stuck on a planet, like, what are you going to do? And I think this is kind of a callback to the original colonies, right? Where they would bring over indentured servants, and then their time would be up, and they would be like, no, you still work for us. And they're like, no, I don't. Be like, what are you going to do? Like, just wander out in the wilderness and die? Those are your choices, And that's kind of how Weyland-Yutani has these people locked down here in not Romulus. Jackson? Was that the name of the planet?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was Jackson.
So like, well, you don't have to work for us, but what's going to do? There's nothing else on this planet. It's not like you can catch a bus to the next town. We own this planet.
Yeah, and how long
gets in and out of it,
They said it was going to take them 9 years to get to the planet they want to go to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, yeah. I love the Andy character. I thought
everybody's been a big fan of Andy.
Yeah,
especially like the flip of the switch with the switch in his module, where he works for the company and he's advanced and sophisticated, or he's got his old broken module, which he's a good guy, but he's not super useful. Like, I mean, with the Weyland-Yutani upgrade, he's able to calculate the speed of the guy running down the hallway and like just inches to shut out the face huggers, and not get him. And then they're like, you could have been like, but I didn't. I calculated correctly.
I failed last time, but I succeeded this time. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Like, like the system is that advanced as opposed to his old system, which is just barely functioning.
Yeah. I thought the actor executed really well, but also just like that function we haven't really seen in Aliens yet of like a robot getting a new update or model and then completely changing really how their behavior is. I thought that was all really, really great. And I hope we do get some more Andy.
Oh, that's right. She did put him in a cryo thing, huh?
Yep, she took him along. So he's her Jonesy.
And he needs some kind of middle ground. He's very ineffective as Andy.
Yeah, she needs to get him an update that doesn't completely redirect him to anything for the company.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed the show. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Joe. I've been talking about it for, a year and a half at least.
Yeah, you've been talking about Alien Romulus for a long time.
I hope we do get a new Alien vs. Predator. That would be great. But as far as
especially if they stick with the practical effects. Practical effects, I feel like really knocked out of the park. Not only like did they look great, but I think it also adds to the retro tech feel of an Alien movie.
Yeah, the ads. Yeah, you're right. I think it does add to that feeling quite a bit. But like, so the scene with all the facehuggers in the water, that they said it was cheaper to do it that way. CGIing all that water would have been a huge project.
Interesting.
So that was one of the things they talked about. But I also think it really enhances the actor's ability to...
Yeah, because they're working with real things as opposed to having to imagine them there.
Right. Like the guy who barely gets the face hugger off of his face. Imagine if you had to do that in CGI.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, it's like...
A few people have mentioned, the actors did a good job, and part of what probably helped these young actors really do a good job was practical effects.
Yeah.
We're Xenos, there were face huggers there that they were dealing with, as opposed to just, imagine this is that thing, and it's like a little green stuffed animal.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. Our next Alien film production is going to be Noah Holloway's Alien series. So that is what's next.
Do you have an
pipeline? No, they still don't have a release date. I think they've released like 2 titles. That's about as close to a release date as we've gotten. So, not here yet, but
well,
I think
thanks for listening, and let us know what you thought.